I've been quoted in various places as saying that it's harder to give away $100 million than to make it.
The best adjective for Jack was irreverent.
He loved to drink. He loved to dance.
He was curious. He was infinitely curious.
He loved to argue. He loved conversation, loved politics.
That's how he felt the world should be. It should be open to ideas. We should be able to get into a room together and really hash them out.
He was not an inventor, but he did make things work.
It seemed to me that one could provide enlightened philanthropy.
At the beginning of my father's search, he wanted to have a clinical institution.
At that point, Jack's idea was do what that guy in Utah was doing, who makes artificial hearts and stuff like that. He was fascinated with that. He's a businessman. He wanted to get a real bang for the buck.
I believe it was Lou Thomas, who wrote Lives of a Cell, who said to my father, don't look for an institution, look for a person. A person is going to make this happen. And I happen to know the guy who I think you should meet.
So I met Jack Whitehead first in 1980. And what I told him was that I thought this was a time to focus on developmental biology. I was thinking about bringing together a group of people whose interests are in the fundamentals of biology rather than the medical implications.
My father really liked and trusted David. You know, he gave him a hard time. They argued a lot, but they both brought each other along rather nicely.
Jack later said David would have had the Institute anywhere in the world as long as it was MIT. And there's a little bit of truth in that. They had the most important thing if you're going to start up a new institution, and that was quality control. They knew how to hire good people.
This is a big step on the part of MIT, that they allowed another entity to plunk down and be the employer of joint faculty. That's a big step.
From our perspective, this was an opportunity to greatly expand by 50%, more or less, the intellectual community of folks involved with biology in this end of Cambridge. The press managed to get it largely wrong. It completely distorted the nature of the relationship with the Whitehead, and it distorted the role of the faculty.
The suspicion was that somehow this hocus-pocus entity was going to be used to make money for the Whiteheads.
It was mystifying to him that he should be so misunderstood, that people should be so suspicious, that people should be so unwilling to open themselves up to a new idea.
Now, this is a nonprofit institute, so nobody can take out the intellectual property and use it for their own purpose. I mean, that's just a total red herring. But the discussion that was really worth having, and which MIT had, was the question about, are we comfortable with MIT faculty, people wearing MIT faculty hats, being paid by another entity? Where's the loyalty?
There was a concern that this would inevitably lead to two classes of faculty. That there would be faculty who were MIT only, and then there would be faculty who were MIT and Whitehead, and that could have effects on the governance of MIT departments. It could lead to tensions within the Institute and between the Institute and the Whitehead.
David Baltimore, God bless him, said, Jack, give me time. You know, I'll work with academic council, I'll work with the faculty here, and we'll be able to do something about this.
It culminated in a vote by the faculty after some year of debate, both on the campus and in the newspaper. I don't know which was more exaggerated, but anyhow, the night of the election, I was reminded within 5 minutes of the vote, David called me at home, and he made a very unforgettable quotation. He said, you know, democracy is a wonderful thing if you win.
The final vote in the faculty was very strong, and once that was over, we just went forward.
I was trying to decide between coming here to Whitehead and going to Harvard Medical School, and it was really the decision do you want to found a new country, or do you want to go to England? And, they already have the parliamentary system. We had no idea what system we were going to have, but at least we would be able to construct it.
The moment the concrete floors are being poured, I walked around the building long before there were partitions in to see how things were going. The best thing about this building is that it fosters communication. There were open labs encouraging interaction between people within a group and even between different research groups.
Small institutions work better from a cultural point of view, scientific cultural point of view, than large institutions, because everybody can work together, everybody knows each other. And one of the things that fueled that was the yearly retreat that Jack organized to go skiing. And this is something that people don't emphasize enough, that one of the things that really brought people together was that we brought our families. That whole thing, that social thing, for a week, which is a long time, every year, really knit us all together as a family of sorts.
Something brand new had been forged here, and the science was unbelievably good.
Anybody who asks me what was the most important thing that happened on my watch, Whitehead is always number one.
I'm most proud of the reputation that Whitehead has. The fact that when I'm introduced, because I'm giving a talk somewhere, that people say with a little awe, he started the Whitehead Institute.
He knew how good this place was. At the time he died, he definitely knew.
Few people have been as privileged as I to put their name on such a worthwhile effort.
How lucky was he to be able to do something that you're passionate about, that you believe in down to your bones, and see it realized? How great is that?
The dream, at last, has come true. Thank you.